Good morning, fam. It is Friday, February 6th, 7:45 a.m. here in beautiful northeast Kansas City, Missouri. Doing a little walking tour here on this one, and we're just gonna chill out here on our porch. This kind is not for kids because I have a cigarette. I marked not for kids on the YouTube settings. So, but that doesn't mean fucking jack all. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean fucking shit. It's Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. They're all the fucking same, dog. It's all the fucking panopticon. Well, there's several different panopticons. Okay, hold on a sec. Cool. It's a wonderful, beautiful morning, and actually, I feel quite good. So my morning routine is, I start off, I just kind of sit out here in the sun. Thank you, Dr. Huberman, for the wonderful morning sunlight protocol. And I'm up early enough now at 7:40 a.m. to get some like dawn sunlight, which rules. This is a really good wavelength. It's much better than the 10 a.m. I usually get out at 10 a.m. and and it's bright, and I'm like squinting and trying real hard to like get some sunlight, even though it's not probably the right wavelength. Drink some coffee, smoke a cigarette. I just kind of like stand out and do some. I got all sorts of loosey-goosey kind of like physical therapy type things, like habits and stuff that I got trained on over the years. So I just gotta do a little free form. I do a lot of free form, stretching, feeling, rotating, moving particular joints and muscles. I got my spine. I'm working on my thoracic spine here. My thoracic spine has been in this position for 12 months. So now we're doing this position. And we're not gonna get to it in this position because it's not a great position. That kind of rotation right there, and it should be controlled. And so it's we're working on that. Head to the neck to the upper spine. It's like there's a hunch. That hunch is probably not going away, but get everything moving and flowing. Use all your muscles. Okay. Which brings us to today's subject. It's a very timely discussion. Today's subject, because it's such a wonderful morning, it's a great day. It's a great time to discuss a particular feeling. And this particular feeling arose last night as I was trying to modify some of my privacy settings on Facebook.com. And I was having a great day. Right before this, I was planning for this event this weekend. It's like not a big event. It's not a very big event, actually. I've been thinking about it, and I've been planning, and I've been preparing to enter into a social group of people, to meet new people, and to make some connections, and to advance my life and my career, actually. have a career kind of bubbling up here. And since Tuesday, a long-time acquaintance from California, I've been connected with in several years, we had a wonderful conversation on Tuesday. She threw me a bunch of events in Kansas City, and she's like, "Yeah, check out some of these. Maybe there's some people you'll vibe with." And I found one of them, and I was like, I was really like, yes, this seems definitely. We were in that kind of open conversational space where we were just kind of like free exchanging, ideas and sentiments, and kind of getting to learn about each other, me and my acquaintance from California. And this one kind of stood out. It seemed like a really interesting event. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and then yesterday, I've been kind of like re-emerging socially, as we've seen in these video logs, and gearing up to go socialize in real life with people, which is like, we had that meme the other day about how real is superior to fake. Real, if there's anything that's real, it immediately trumps anything that's fake. And real life, IRL socializing, will always and immediately supersede digital and virtual socialization. Even though it's not that these things are fake. It's not that there's not fundamental categories of fakeness and realness. I'm just pointing out that, there's realness and fakeness is a dichotomy. Realness is always better than fakeness. Realism always dominates fakeness is the good way to put that. So I was having a great week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm excited. I have all sorts of ideas that have been bubbling up for years that I finally have a chance to express and integrate into a personality. And then last night, my final task last night was okay, I'm going to change a few Facebook privacy settings because I'm going to this event. This event is registered on Facebook, and so anyway. And then I hit a snag, and it went, whew, the snag went all through my entire being, and I dropped. I had this nice warm feeling. I was vibing. Things were great. I had a wonderful walk last night, and it was an evening stroll, and everything was beautiful, and I was calm, and I was ready, and I was messaging friends. And I hit the snag. I get home, I log into Facebook, I do a couple things. I hit the snag, and then whoo, it came in. Something got in. And then in basically about 10 minutes later, I realized, I knew I was angry. I knew I was very upset and angry at first. And it was 10 minutes later that I realized, actually, what this feeling is, and I need to be explicit here because people are babies and a little bit sensitive and a little bit stupid. So if you're a baby or a little bit sensitive or a little bit stupid, just shut the video off. And I apologize for my masculine presence. That's my new catchphrase. The feeling, it's a feeling. There's not a thought attached to it. There's not like a mantra. There's not like a voice. There's not like any kind of conscious thought. It was recognizing that what my body was doing was getting ready to fight and murder something. Murder is the subject of today's discussion. My body is primed. What happened was I recognized that I was in a consciousness where my whole being was I was tensed up, and it was right before, right before. And it's a good thing I have a working hypothalamus, so it's a good thing. It's very old for me. I know it. I guess I should explain me a little bit to give some context on what triggered this. And it's that for I know this is a side story. I'm sorry. You have to listen to my side story because you're on my video blog. So we're going to go on tangents. It's not going to be linear and you're going to have to deal with it. From 2016 to 2019, I was a evangelist and an advocate for this thing called the decentralized social media revolution. Whatever. Decentralized Web Conference in 2018 in San Francisco. It was like a hub for a lot of my people. In my previous career as a software engineer, I had worked in Silicon Valley for 7 years, and I'd seen the lay of the land, and I understood, as far back as 2014, how centrally and crucially important Facebook was to American society and civilization in the future. It was like a lynch node. I'd always grown up on Facebook and social media. I had Facebook since I was 15. So I'd been online, putting all my information out there, making posts, making girlfriend. All of the girlfriends I made in high school was because I had a Facebook account, and I could like message friends of mine from high school and set up dates and go on adventures. And Facebook was like the tool that I used in high school to manage my own social life. I grew up having this core substrate of reality. Like, it was solid. It was like matter. It was like a piece of the earth. It was like it was part of my reality. And my path. So after high school, I went to college for computer science because I was so inspired and my whole reality in high school in fucking 2008, family. In 2008, my mentality was like, Facebook is a revolution. Facebook is a revolutionary way to like have friends and do stuff and get out of the world and post photos and like write cool stuff and share little art projects and like have fun with your friends. That was what I thought Facebook was in 2008. So I went off to college, became a software engineer. I learned everything about how web development and web design and web infrastructure and how tech businesses work and how user experience designers, like do complex user experience design stuff to optimize a web page, to make it the best web application, to make it like a purpose-built tool for whatever the user was trying to accomplish. And for me, as a social young kid, I wanted to use Facebook and social media to accomplish my goal of having friends and a girlfriend and a life. Anyway, all of this boiled up. So I worked in Silicon Valley for let's say 3 years. I put in some time just doing coding at different startups. And then in 2017, all of this came to a head because there was a movement. There was like other people had some overlap with the experience I had in high school. Yeah. So there was a revolution brewing. There was a movement. No one knows about this. Nobody in 500 fucking mile radius of where I live knows that this revolution happened. Knows a thing about it. It was like murdered red wedding style in its sleep by Peter Thiel, David Sachs, Mark Andreessen, Paul Graham, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Nikita Beer, Reid Hoffman, Mark Benioff, okay, and yeah, I need to sit down and write a list of people that ought to be they ought to be imprisoned for their various crimes against humanity, subjected to cruel and inhumane
experiences, they ought to be utterly. They should be strung up and horribly mutilated in like a public setting. Every tech giant and billionaire should be hung up on ropes and like strangulated painfully and brutally and broadcast on, not live television. There should be a massive violent upheaval of people who recognize that privacy is important. Privacy is important. We're only halfway through our little message here, so we have plenty of time. Privacy is important. And when you violate somebody's privacy, you are violating them. You are violating them. We're using a lot of fighting words here, I know. You're violating them, and you violate their privacy. There's a related word that is too much of a fighting word for me to use. For some reason, murder is not a fighting word for me because I've listened to a lot of rap songs. So when I hear a hip-hop track that's like, murder, 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 kill, 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 I don't interpret that as the artist saying, like, I think you should go commit murder and kill. I think it's like an expression of someone's, like, soul. And the words they choose, the words you're sensitive to, the words you choose to use, the words that trigger a response in you are variable to every single person. So for me, murder! Like, actually, I hear the word murder in Dwyron's voice. He's like a Go YouTuber. He says, murder! He has this thing called Murder Mondays, which is him. Okay, and it's an ontological question. It's like, does Dwyron feel that same feeling of murder? When he's like against an opponent, he's like, he suspects is using AI tools, or like he thinks is not taking the game seriously. I bet it kind of gets under his skin, actually. I bet he kind of does like wrestle with some of the aforementioned feelings. I bet he does. But he has the series called Murder Mondays, where he's attempting to murder his opponent in the game of Go, which is, go play Go. It's a really fun game. Online-go.com is a really good way to play Go. There's my alarm going off. I'm already up, though. Okay. So, murder consciousness. Let me check my friends here. I got friends. Makes me feel good. All right. My friend would totally understand this rant. My other friend would be too. They would all understand. It's nice to have friends. It's nice to have friends that you think would understand you, man. It's so nice. When you get violated by a impenetrably strong outside force, when you personally get violated, the proper response to that is to feel murderous. You should feel murderous. If you don't feel in that moment like, oh, if there was someone here and I could just wring their throat right now, I would fucking do it. No, maybe pause on that last part. But that feeling of like, oh, someone trampled over my boundaries. They just pierced right through them. They got to the gut. They just punched through and they got there, and the proper response to that should be shaking rage. You should feel livid. You should feel upset. You should feel very upset. And I don't. I'm comfortable. It's. I don't know. There's an interesting array of. There's a very interesting array of states. There's a lot of related states here to explore. Rage, lividness, righteous anger, murderousness is the name of this particular set of consciousness. And actually, okay, I will say that I have attuned to like a very specific social milieu wherein statements like this are like totally benign and not. I know. It gets very complex. It gets very complex because everyone in the world's a sensitive baby. We got 10 minutes left here. Man. It's a horrible. It can be a horrible feeling. It's not an attractor state. It's if you have like any if you have any other if you have like if you have a wide array of positive, uplifting, wholesome, good feeling consciousnesses, mental states, if you have like a big grab bag of just like all sorts of configurations of yourself wherein you're happy or anticipated or exciting, like a very rich array of positive things, that individual moments like this are not an attractor state at all. They're not, and they don't. There's no you within milliseconds recognize this is uncomfortable and I don't want to be like this. I recognize immediately that it's not fun. It's not actually enjoyable to be dropped down. If you're like floating around, you're having a good time. You're walking around, you're enjoying a day in the sun. You're vibing, you're flowing, you're excited, you're ready to go. Something happens, some outside force sends a mental bullet, whoo, and it goes whoo, whizzing into your consciousness. The first thing you recognize is, I don't like this bullet. I don't like this psychic bullet floating around my system. It needs to be expunged. It is like taking a physical bullet and having that bullet lodged in your shoulder. That is a very good one. Like violation can happen physically and it can happen mentally. Physical violation, you take a literal bullet in your shoulder. Someone physically penetrated your physical body, that's a violation. They committed violence against you. Someone sends a psychic bullet, something, and it can be anything. It can be an impression, it can be a word, it can be something that just gets in right into all of your sensitive spots. That is also a violation. To me, I would rather be shot with a fucking bullet than have to deal with Facebook ever again. 100%. 100%. If I could just take one bullet here in the shoulder, and then like all of my Facebook privacy setting issues would be permanently solved, bring it on, Zuck. Bring it on. Just fucking shoot me in the fucking shoulder, buddy. Right here. I want to heal. I don't want to die from it. I want a good shoulder injury. I'll take one I'll take anywhere in the left arm. Like right here would be fine. Shoulder, I like my torso. I'm very scared of pain. Anywhere in my thighs or legs, totally fine. Thighs, legs, forearms. I will take one bullet And just for sporting fun, if someone knows Mark Zuckerberg, reach out to him. And I have friends, I probably have acquaintances that know Mark Zuckerberg. I'm probably 2 degrees. So if one of my acquaintances hears this message, please deliver to Mr. Zuckerberg for me. Chris Johnson has been a loyal and supporting and loving power user of Facebook since his early childhood. Facebook is as part of his body as it is his. We share that in common. For 20 years, Facebook is in me. So given that, given our similarities between me and Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook is literally, his body is like made out of Facebook. Send this message to him for sporting fun. First of all, as a member of the people who are made out of Facebook, for sporting fun, if you and your rich friends would like to get together, one power user has a fun little, it's like the most dangerous game kind of situation. But instead of hunting me, it's just like a target practice. You just line up all the tech executives, right? All 10 of them. Pick the 10 executives I mentioned. They can all be standing over there. All of them have a rifle, like a loaded rifle, like a 30-aught, like a 223. Nothing, just a basic kit. I don't really like pain. I don't want to be tortured. Line up 10 of them with a 30-aught. And give 9 of them blanks. 9 of them have blanks. 1 of them has a live shot. Okay, and it'll be fun for them. It'll be fun. And they line up, and they all aim for my left shoulder here. And I'll trust them to be a good shot and miss my heart. I trust them. Okay, or I'll cover my heart just for extra protection. They can put 1 bullet anywhere along my upper forearm to my lower forearm. And in exchange, they make me a power user. They give me power user access. They make a little dashboard for me to be able to manage my social media in a basically human way. And it'd be a lot of pain. It would shock my whole system. I'd be like, fuck! That's probably a good way to drop down into murder consciousness, getting shot with a literal bullet. So, a better way to explain this is have a friend shoot you in the arm. No, sorry. I know, we're sensitive. Sorry, I'm talking to sensitive babies. I think I think you get it. I think you all understand. Cool. This is not an endorsement of violence. This is not an endorsement of violence. All violence is bad. All violence everywhere, all the time is very, very bad. No violence ever. Don't ever have violence as part of your life. Don't watch scary TV shows or action movies. Definitely don't watch any media about war. Just don't ever think about any of that. Don't ever. War and violence, death and disease, war and violence and death is all bad. It's all bad. Don't ever, just don't ever go there. All the other people will take care of it, So don't ever think anything bad ever or say anything. Just don't ever think or say anything ever. Okay? That's my disclaimer. My legal disclaimer for this is don't ever think or feel or say anything ever. Okay? Thank you for watching. This has been a wonderful episode.